The Hurst Exponent is a statistical tool measuring a price series memory to see if it's trending or mean reverting. And so we want to avoid trending markets. We want mean reverting markets. So that's why we want the Hurst Exponent below 0.45, because that's going to indicate trending versus mean reverting.
Range. And this slide lays it out perfectly. A Hurst value below 0.45, that's a green light. It signals a mean reverting market, which is perfect for us. The price likes to stay in a box, crossing back and forth, just generating tons of fees. But a value above 0.55, that's a big red X. That signals a trending market, which is toxic for LPs. The price is probably going to blow right through your range, leaving you with max losses. So now we have the core pieces, right? We know we're selling volatility, we have a budget for it, we know we need fast data, and we've got a market weather forecast. So let's put it all together into a strategy you can actually use. Here's the 4-step playbook. First, you find a pool where the market is overpaying for volatility, where implied vol is way higher than what's actually happening. Second, you use the Hurst Exponent to confirm the market is in that friendly, range-bound mode. Third, you deploy your capital, but you make sure your volatility budget, your Sigma BE, is safely above the current market choppiness. And fourth, and this is crucial, you monitor everything in real time and you stay ready to adjust or pull out if things change. And for those who really want to get into the weeds, it doesn't even stop there. You see, even a perfect strategy needs constant tuning. Your risk isn't static. It changes as volatility shifts and even as time just passes by. If you ignore these subtle drifts, a profitable position can silently turn against you. It is a constant, active process. So after all this work, the real-time data, the fancy stats, the complex formulas, what's the actual payoff? Well, research has shown that these active, volatility-sensitive strategies can outperform just passively providing liquidity by an average of 13.2% per.
So the 13.2%, it speaks to what Yuri just posted in the chat. So the adaptive fees, as price moves more quickly, you need a higher fee tier to earn more fees in order to be able to have a shot at beating your gamma or your divergence loss. That's why the adaptive fee tier pools give you a little bit of an edge over the arbitrageurs. That is important. And I think I'm going to end up migrating liquidity to adaptive fee tier pools only, but I've got to be able to calculate my break-even volatility first.
Per year. That's a pretty significant edge. What's really exciting is when we look ahead. The upcoming Uniswap v4 is introducing something called hooks. Basically, they are custom pieces of code that could let you automate these complex strategies, like dynamically adjusting your fees based on real-time volatility directly on-chain. This could make these powerful tools accessible to way more people. And that really leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? As the DeFi markets mature and the tools get this sophisticated, are we witnessing the end of simple, passive yield farming? Is the future of providing liquidity destined to become a highly active, quantitative game? It's definitely something to think about as this space just keeps evolving at lightning speed.
Cool. Awesome. So now that we've gone through that slide deck and the video overview, I think I would like to hop into the polymarket stuff, unless anyone has any questions about the Uniswap stuff here. But I'm just going to continue to build on this research on Uniswap, and I'm going to build something on Google Cloud to calculate those metrics that we need. And now that I'm almost done with the building phase for DeFi University, I'll actually have the time to be able to do it. Yeah, Jason, go ahead.
Yeah, a couple of months ago or weeks ago, you were mentioning there's not really much volume in the V4 pools, and it wasn't worth it at the time. Has that changed?
You know, I don't know. But what I do know is that those hook contracts allow you to change the fee tier based on volatility. And so if there are pools where there's adaptive fee tiers, so that's the V4 hook or what Yuri shared with us on Orca, an adaptive fee tier, that's just one element though. So the adaptive fee tier protects you against lever a little bit, but just deploying into an adaptive fee tier pool and thinking that you're going to outperform a static fee tier pool, I don't think that that's valid, or at least I don't have any data to say that that's valid yet. So what I really need to be able to calculate, if I bring it on over here to the slide deck, is I need to be able to calculate my variance risk premium and figure out if it's positive or not. And the only way that I can do that is if I have some on-chain data and I can calculate my VL ratio and then plug that in, calculate my break-even volatility or my implied volatility. And then that will allow me to calculate my instant theta. And then I can calculate my break-even volatility. So it's not just about having, so the adaptive fee tier, that would be right here. That would be this. So having the adaptive fee tier gives you a little bit of an edge, a 13% edge over the static fee tier. But I don't think that's quite enough to be able to figure out if you're going to be consistently profitable or not. It's just one of the components, though. It definitely is one of the components.
Hmm.
So
That's really cool. That I mean, just the programmatic managing of positions. I guess
yeah,
you can. I haven't looked into the what you can do, but I'm guessing you can do everything relating to managing a position.
I'm pretty
Through
sure.
scripts and stuff.
Yeah, I'm pretty
My
sure.
second question is, this part of what you said depends on the volume going through that specific pool or the group of pools at the different fee tiers. That's constantly changing, like throughout the day pretty much. So does that mean your break even is constantly changing for that pool, and this calculation is, so you're planning to recalculate it like second by second or millisecond
Correct.
based on the volume?
So that
So it
means I've got
sounds
to
like
have,
something
yeah.
I've heard the term high frequency liquidity being used. I follow these guys called HawkFi, which is a Solana ecosystem pool orchestration thing. Yeah, I forget the
What's the URL? Hawkfi dot.
maybe .so, but I'm not sure, or .ag perhaps.
Okay,
So they have these kind of
Hawkfi.
recipes. They mostly automate, yeah, these guys. So they do take a premium, but they have these recipes. They have a nice help that explains kind of their strategy of the Meteora and Orca stuff. Let's see. I think basically you click on a pool, say whatever USDC Sol, and then you kind of create a let's see, pool info, create position, and then they've
Okay.
just created these presets. And so the presets with liquidity shape, with the heart attack, ping pong, and all those are pretty wild. They're really fast, like super fast rebalancing. Stay in the pool for just like a few minutes or so. Swap to USDC. It's a lot of those are about meme coin farming. But the high frequency is basically auto rebalance. When it gets to the edge of the range, so you can, if it's trending higher, you would be constantly rebalancing right to a super tight range and sort of buy low, sell high, kind of like the bid ask. Anyway, so they've got a bunch of them that are pretty interesting, and I think they take 8%. So that's steep unless you're really making a lot on the feed.
Yeah, but
However,
this looks
their
great, Jason.
strategy could be kind of applied to what you're talking about, with the hooks on Uniswap and with your own bots. So yeah, there you go. Their docs might be really interesting to digest.
Yeah, man, this is great. This is a great resource. I'm going to bookmark this. So
And
this,
their
yeah,
Twitter, these are part of something Justin mentioned, the like the Meteora LP army. They're associated with these guys, and so some of their Twitter accounts, that's not promising.
so I was just trying to get to their, let me just go back here. I was just trying to get to their X page or their Twitter page, and it looks like their account's suspended.
I would think the link doesn't work. But
Yeah,
anyways, one of the founders is constantly posting sort of results on USDC Sol, and then some other guys are doing like some paid coaching on some of these, or they post like small videos about some meme coin launch, and then how they provide liquidity, constantly just saying like a minute to 30 seconds, making some fees, cashing out, and constantly they have sort of a bot that is selling from back to Sol and just accumulating more Sol. And so that's what this heart attack one is, I guess, because it's incredibly stressful to be auto rebalancing on like a 1 minute time frame and stuff.
yeah, I
But
bet.
yeah,
I mean, this looks great, man. So these look like hooks. These look like some type of custom hook. Now, on Solana, because the architecture is a little bit different, don't you use like vault contracts on Solana? And you deposit into almost like a vault, And then that's how they're able to create the auto rebalancing functions is within the vault. I'm not quite sure, but
Me neither. I think there's definitely contracts associated with it. What I do know, there was more functionality on Meteora than on the other dexes at all, because that seems to be built in more into the CLMM or the DLMM in their case. But yeah, I'm pretty interested in the Orca, the Sol USDC high frequency sort of constant rebalancing, or with a bid ask strategy. I haven't quite grasped it, and I've only risked like $100 or so, which is the minimum. And then seeing deep in the docs that it's like I think 5 to 8%. You really have to be beating that on top of your calculation of the break even for it to be worth it.
yeah, I mean, this I'm definitely going to spend some more time digging into this, but whether it's, high frequency liquidity provision on Solana or just manually providing liquidity, but doing so with a statistical edge by having a really, really good filter for, EVM chain pools. I think that I'm gonna pursue the manual liquidity provision with really good analytics first, because honestly, I can't have too many, irons in the fire, so to speak. And so as I continue to work on the Uniswap stuff, I'm sure at some point I'll definitely take a look at the Solana stuff too, because this is very interesting. I haven't come across a protocol like this. So this is very, very cool.
It's pretty early stage, but I think the idea is similar to what's being done on Crystal with those automated rebalancing strategies. And I know we've always shied away from those because it seems like you're just going to constantly lose money if it's constantly balancing, right? And we
Yeah.
did discuss that like last year.
Oh, yeah.